Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, a new build. New day, new build, new me. That's my slogan for 2021, right? Because the amount of builds that I play lately is just ridiculous. And first of all, if you're wondering, because I get this question all the time on stream, yo mbX, what happened to Penance Brand? What happened to your Earthshatter Witch? What happened to your Righteous Fire character? What happened to SST? What happened to Hexblast? What happened to... I don't know, okay? So I want to make something clear. I like to try out things, okay? Some builds work out, most of them do not, okay? So I don't see a point when I'm like... Usually when I'm like really hyped about a build, like this one for example, I want to make kind of like a diary where I say like, yo, this is my new character, this is what I tried to do with it, and in a couple of days I'm gonna give you guys the update, how did it turn out, and so on, right? Usually I only do those on characters where I'm really hyped about, for example, Penance Brand. But the problem with Penance Brand was more like I just don't have the currency to make it the way I would like to play it. The intention was never to make like any kind of like normal brand character that is just like, I don't know, like doing maps or some shit, you know? The intention was to do 100% Delirious farmer. And to farm 100% Delirious is quite heavy on the investment if you're playing something extraordinary, I would say, right? If you're not going the typical plan like, yo, do Blade Blast, or Blade Vortex Poison or something that is like normal to farm 100% Delirious maps, I want to bring something that I haven't played before, because trying out new things is what brings the most joy for me in this game. And that's why I made the decision to not continue the brand for now, just because I just don't have the currency to make it as good as I want it to be. Good. For the other builds, if I don't play the build anymore, it's gone, okay? So the questions what happened to X build is not relevant as soon as I'm on a new character, because usually I always sell the items that I used on another character to afford the next character. Anyways, what character is this? This is an accuracy stacking character. So if I have to laugh a little bit in my inside too, because you cannot afford the full juicer, but now you start stat stacking, which is by far the most expensive builds in the game, right? Yeah, you got me. I'm like, yeah, guilty. Anyways, I still gonna do it because I think this build is going to be quite interesting. What am I talking about? Accuracy stacking. What is accuracy stacking? Pretty much the same as all the other stat stacking characters that we had in the past. Like I did strength stacking character, like the Blade Vortex with like 25,000 energy shield a couple leagues ago until it got nerfed. Then we had the in-stacking Wander from Harvest League that turned out absolutely ridiculous. Then we also had like deck stacking Hollow Palm, deck stacking Bow that I haven't really touched too much because I think it's too meta. But yeah, I just love stat stacking builds because they can, like, this is an absolute currency sink and sky's the limit. The more you have, the more you get, right? So why accuracy stacking? So we have this new base, which is called the, I don't know, there's different types. This one is Cloud Whisper, is like the cheap one, right? There is like Storm Rider Boots, I think is the highest item level one. It's about the implicit 1 to 6 added lightning damage per 200 accuracy rating. So this was something that wasn't in there before. So accuracy stacking was something in the past as well. There are items that are made for that, but you don't have the damage output. For example, I'm Juggernaut over here, right? This is a normal stat that it has since whenever, you know, like, or since the Juggernaut got released, I don't know, which gives you accuracy, attack speed per accuracy, rating equal twice your strength, which is basically the dex stat. You see, 1 dex is 2 accuracy. This one basically turns it into 1 strength is 2 accuracy as well, right? So it's not like it doesn't exist, right? But how are you gonna get damage out of accuracy? And the keyword are these boots over here with the implicit. So this is a complete new level. Otherwise, unless there is an item where it could do that before, I mean, there are things, you know, like Hands of Actimus Wisdom, or what are you called, like the Howard Jugs with the CI and whatnot, with the Shaper's Touch and stuff like that. But these boots, they are just made for some incredible stuff. I hope so. And that's why we're going to try out this build. So What is the main idea of this build? Getting a ridiculous amount of accuracy and stacking all the stats. So I made a chart over here where I just wrote down what can we get. So as I just said, we have the accuracy, the 150 accuracy per like 1 attack speed per 150 accuracy, which is your Juggernaut Ascendancy. Then you have something like the Obscurantis helmet, which is a Hydra drop that usually is not even on the loot filter because it's like a 1 chaos item, you know. Which also gives you like ridiculous amounts of accuracy and 1% increased projectile attack damage per 200 accuracy rating. Next on the list, there is an Elder mod on a bow. I'm not sure if this exists on weapon too, but I decided to go for a bow character, so that's why I wrote down the Elder bow mod, which is also 1% attack damage per 200 accuracy. Then you have something like the Oscarm gloves, which gives you 2% attack critical strike chance. This is not base crit, this is global critical strike chance. 1% per 2% per 200. Then you have a divergent additional accuracy support, which actually gives you increased attack damage per 1000 accuracy. So that's a support gem that you usually never see on any build, but hey, here we're gonna get a use out of it. Then we have the 1 to 6 lightning damage per accuracy, so we're gonna scale. With just getting as much accuracy as possible, we're gonna scale flat damage, attack speed, crit strike chance, projectile attack damage, and global percentage increased damage. And that is like your basic numbers over here, what you're gonna get. I'm gonna... Every time, dude, when I record a video, I get spammed on Discord. All like beep, 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 beep. So, good. What does that mean? So, the more accuracy we have, let's assume we have an accuracy rating of like 25,000. That would mean that we get 167% increased attack speed, 250% projectile attack damage. This is already because I have 2% from my 2 items, so the calculation already took those 2%. Then we're gonna get 250% increased critical strike chance, 100% increased damage, and also 125 to 750 increased, or at least flat lightning damage. So the idea is basically, yeah, just get as much accuracy as possible and just make a character built around these new boots. So my decision, like, this is pretty much a template character, right? That means you can do whatever skill you want to have with this one, right? Because it's a generic flat lightning damage character. You don't have to take a bow. You can also play with like weapons, and you can go like lightning strike, for example, or static strike, or I don't know, like bow. You can go lightning arrow, galvanic arrow, like lightning elemental hit. You can go tornado shot. You can just like take any projectile skill, maybe even spectral shield throw. Yeah, that probably is a thing, right? And you're just gonna try to get a very fancy character. And the thing is, I cannot answer you the question, how much currency do you need? I mean, this is something I can't answer you because this is a stat stacking build. This build will probably cost, sky's the limit, you know? I just know budget stat stacking characters are usually trash, okay? It's the same with an aura stacker, it's the same with like an int stacker, dex stacker, strength stacker, accuracy stacker. You need a shit ton of stats, you know? Because if you're a stat stacker, or you call yourself a stat stacker, and you don't really have stats because you cannot afford them, there is no damage, no attack speed, no nothing, you know? So I can already say this is not a budget build. But I cannot tell you what is the entrance cost, because I have no idea. It's the first time I'm playing a character like that, right? So we are playing with Frenzy. Why Frenzy? I have no idea. I just think that the Frenzy scaling with accuracy, maybe even with a precursor ring or something like that, might be quite interesting, and we're gonna get a shit ton of like attack speed. And as you see, the attack speed is already pretty ridiculous. I think we do have, how much accuracy do we have at the moment? 16,000 on that one. At 21.6k accuracy on my, I think it was the barrage setup. So I'm running 2 Frenzy setups at the moment. One is the clearing with like GMP and chain, and the other one is barrage with just like a single target barrage setup, right? So Frenzy gives you more damage per Frenzy charge, and I will try to stack Frenzy. There is also like precursor rings, as I just mentioned. They have things like 20% increased accuracy rating per Frenzy charge, or 10%. So we might even look into that. Or in the start, just take like any kind of rings that are having insane amounts of accuracy, because accuracy is what this build is made for. Accuracy is what gives you the damage, the speed, the crit, and whatnot. The more you have, the better it is. It's just sad that you cannot really scale your life that well, because like, for example, when you do like Hollow Palm, you have this dex stacking, and there is Garakam boots where you get like life per dex and stuff like that, right? So basically, you just don't get any life of it, but I think you're gonna get like ridiculous amounts of attack speed and damage based on that. So we're gonna figure out the rest as we go and level the character. You probably might wonder yourself, why don't I have mana? And this is a keystone basically over here, which is blood magic. This is a pretty much forgotten thing. It basically removes all your mana and you spend life instead of mana for your skills. As you see, if I just attack, I'm just dropping life as I go. So where I was, so here. And here in the end, there is Mortal Conviction, which basically lets you activate one aura. This is not reserving life, so I choose to go with Precision because, hey, Precision gives accuracy, accuracy gives damage, so it is the obvious choice. And we'll try to boost it up with like Empower, Enhance, like whatever we're gonna get, and take the Supreme Ego for now, okay? Because the thing is, if you have that amount of attack speed, and the mana cost at the moment is 45, I just don't know if there is a mana multiplier on that. I don't think so. But what that means, with my attack speed that I have, counting in 45 mana cost per attack, and currently running like 7 attacks per second, which is basically like over 300 mana per second if I'm just shooting arrows like this, right? There is no freaking way that I will ever be able to sustain that. I probably have like 3 ideas where you could sustain it. Like in one hand, maybe if you have enough mana gain on hit for attacks and leech, that you might be able to get enough mana back. But I think the better solutions is either going budget for blood magic and just live with the precision alone, or if you say like, yo, I want to have my auras, I want to have something like Wrath, Precision, War Banner, like everything that boosts your lightning damage and your accuracy, because this is a pure lightning based build basically, right? You could do something like Rings, you know, the Elrian mod or the Crafted mod, where you have like with Fertile Catalyst, minus 10 mana cost of non-channeling skills. We have this 2 times and 1 time on the Amulet, which would be 30. And then there is the Replica Conqueror's Potency, which also gives you minus 9. It would be 39 mana to a total cost, like minus 39 mana. Used for skills, so instead of 45 it would be like only 6 mana, and maybe then I could actually reserve all my entire mana and will be able to sustain it that way. But the easiest solution was just to get blood magic and just sustain it through life with like life regen, endurance charges. We're Juggernaut, you know, so that might be a thing, so I can just like start leveling. But I think at some point this might be actually the better solution, to just have no mana cost at all for whatever skill you're using, and you can reserve more auras, get a Watcher's Eye and stuff like that to top it off, right? Good. So if we take a look again at accuracy, basically accuracy gives you hit rating, accuracy gives you all the other stuff that I just mentioned. So we're gonna have 100% hit chance for sure, but the more accuracy you have, at some point you're gonna have 100% critical strike chance, just based on the Oscarm gloves, for example. And there is a lots of items that you can actually use to make builds like that happen. For example, a good budget way is the Hinekora Sight. Is currently a 2 Chaos Amulet, which gives you 1000 accuracy, and with the attack modifiers quality, you get 1200 accuracy, right? Things like the Obscurantis, which gives you up to 1000 accuracy over here as well. This currently goes for like 2 Chaos as well, so not really expensive, just to get as much accuracy as possible. Obviously, in the later course, like a good crafted amulet would be better than using something like this, but just for the entrance, this is like, there is like, it's super good. Like 2 Chaos gives you 1200 accuracy, and that basically means, based on my calculation here, if you play some Path of Exile as well, how much does 1200 accuracy give me actually? It's 8% attack speed, 12% increased damage if I'm wearing the helm, if I wear the bow and stuff like that. We get 12% crit strike chance, almost 5% increased damage, and flat lightning damage. So it's, yeah, obviously the amulet itself is kind of naked with some dodge, but actually it gives you quite a lot based on that, right? Just no life and resistance, but there is other spots to fix that one. So what would be the best way, in my opinion, or overall, to scale something like that? And this would be Abyss Jewels. So Abyss Jewels do have this sexy thing that you get accuracy and increased accuracy if you haven't killed recently. Please note that if you haven't killed recently, it's only a bossing thing, right? Against Saurus, Maven, or anything where you haven't killed something, right? Because otherwise you're gonna lose this stat. So that basically means if you would stack something like that for, I don't know, 20 times, you know, like how much accuracy do we get, how much life, how much flat lightning damage to bow attacks, and especially how much accuracy rating percentage do we get if we haven't killed, right? So, I am an attack-based build, I use Frenzy, I'm killing stuff non-stop unless I do bosses, so you could technically just go for some totem playstyle, because I think if you take something like Ballister Totem or something, like, I'm not going to touch this one, right? Because I don't like totem playstyle at all, but I think if your totem kills stuff, it's not you, so you're probably going to have this stat increased accuracy if you haven't killed recently up permanently, and this is probably ridiculous amounts of damage. And I think the best way to scale damage would be just get as many of those in your tree, like every single jewel slot that you can get, and get in those cluster jewels. In later stages, like if you have 10 mirrors laying around, like some one voices passive over here, you know, like get 3 more of those, right? Or what I currently did is having here a split personality with strength and accuracy, and if you're wondering why strength, don't forget strength gives life, and strength gives also accuracy based on the undeniable keystone over here, right? Or ascendancy node. So other things that you can use is an Emperor's Cunning. This is the one from the lab. I do not recommend that just because it's probably going to be hilariously expensive. I got this one for 1.5 exalts, but it was only one on the market. This is the one that you get, like, if you're rank 1 in lab or something like that, is an option. In the end, it's just going to be massive amounts of POBing. What is the best? How do we gonna get that? Is it worth to get something like that with increased accuracy? Do we need the flat accuracy rating? How many of those can we fit in? Should we actually play something like a replica Shroud of the Lightless, where it has like 6 Abyss Jewel sockets, and just get as much as we can? Or is it just better at some point, if we're gonna have enough damage, that we're just gonna use something like an Exploit Chest and gonna try to have like more quality of life, you know? There is like so many things that I want to build in a build like that is just generic quality of life, whatever it is, like ailment immune, stun immune, no mana cost, for example, right? Like all of these things that make your character overall way better than a normal character that just has a shit ton of DPS. And I think this is a build where I definitely see myself crafting a lot of gear, farming a lot. I want to see if this is actually going to be as ridiculous as I think it will be, or if it's just going to be another trash build, and probably in like 2 or 3 days we're going to play another build. And if so, don't ask what happened to the accuracy stacking build, because something would actually, or you know, the stuff that I actually said in the start. As far as I say, for now, we are level 63. I just leveled this character up. We haven't done any laps yet. We just hit Blood Aqueduct. But I decided, since I haven't uploaded a video in like 2 days and people are wondering what I'm doing right now, this is it. This is it. And it's still, dude, wait, it's still hardcore solo self-on viable, by the way, right? There is nothing fancy over here. We have like the Tempest Bow. It's super easy, a Tabula, right? There is nothing too fancy going on here. So it's still a pretty budget character. Until the next update. It's going to be quite interesting. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video, or something like that. Peace out.